feedback. So here's a task that's been given, and I've put out the requirement on this page, the instruction page. And it says that you have been provided with this spreadsheet, and it's got tables. So these tables are the employees' skills assessment and the skills and competencies. And what those tables are showing is current members of the team. So there's a team that has members, and this is about their most recent skills assessment, and the list showing individual skills and their competency area. So using these tables, put together an interactive Power BI report, which will display the skills and competencies of the individual employees and the whole team, So understanding data, let's understand our data. So we've got all employees. This is the list of employees here. Their ID, name, job role, their role, start date, years of service that they have put in, and so on, up to end dates there, notice period, and so on and so forth. So, and we've got skills assessment. So we've got ID, the dates that the skills were completed, their emails, their employee ID, their names, and what they score, how they score in those areas. Then we now also have a third table that is showing, classifying those skills into competency area. So Microsoft Access, all of Microsoft up to Tableau, falls under software skills. Analytical ability and the likes falls under data analysis and performance management, and the list goes down. So that gives us a good, overview of what we are dealing with. So I'm going to close this. Let's remember what is being saved as performance excellence analyst. Okay. So I'll need to close this before I can load this to Power BI. And there we go. So I'm going to open up my Power BI. Okay, I've got one open already, the one that was done before. What I'll do is open a fresh one. Okay, so I'll close this because we need to start afresh. And I'm going to open a fresh, open a new report. Please feel free to chip in along the way when we start. If anything is not clear, or you've got a question, or you've got a contribution, or just something that can help us, to succeed in doing this. So we go on as usual, get data. So we get our data, and we know it's an Excel workbook. So we go on to click Excel. And because I've just only opened it, if I don't remember the name of it, I'm just gonna go on what I've been on today, which is that. So I'll open that, and it's bringing it in, for us. Now we can see on the navigator pane there, the display options, we've got the tables. So let's see what are we bringing in, what are we not bringing in. We need our employee list, which we can see what it looks like there. We need our skill lookup, which is what, categorizes the skills under competency area. And we need our skill assessment. I go on to see that we've got a form of duplication. What do we think is happening here? Anyone can help? So I've got it as table there, and I've got it as sheet down here. So we were not going to load them all because there is just repeated. So in this case, what can we do? Any help?
Yeah, because the data already is already in a table format.
So we should, the ones we have ticked is right, is it?
Sorry.
Is someone saying something?
Yes, I was trying to say that we have some of those data
Yeah.
in the table already, and because of the thickness. So this current one we are highlighted now is on table format.
Yeah. So it's okay for us to use them. Is that what you're saying? Or use these ones? No, I'm asking that question for real.
Okay, ma, let's use the table format. But the danger about using the table is that if, peradventure a new data is added, and there is one small anchor under a table, once that is not dragged to cover some of the new data, that means we'll not get the real, the complete data set. So I think we should just go ahead and use the sheet.
Thank you. That clarifies it very well. Thank you very much.
Can I ask?
Yes, go on.
So how do we know the difference between the two formats? So how do we know this is a table format and this is a sheet?
The display beside them. See the display beside them? It's different. That's how we know.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Transform. So because we need to clean this data.
That means, of course, we will tend to now look at it properly to see the table formats and the ones that are on sheets.
Yes.
Before we can then transform our data.
Yes, okay. That's right. So transform, let's transform.
Before you move on, man, so what did Mr. Aziz said is the reason we can't use the table format?
Okay, let's open, let me try and open what a table looks like and what a normal data range looks like. If I open a new Excel, do I need to open a new one to be able to show? Okay, let's open this. I want to show us what is. Let's open that same one actually. Okay. So what we see here is a table. It's been changed to a table, and that's why you see table design on top here. So these were just normal range cell data that was converted to a table. What Mr. Azim is saying is that if further data gets added, say row 27, row 28 gets added in the end, if care is not taken, those new rows that are added onto this table, can you see this small dot at the corner, at the bottom corner here? Can we see this? So if I'm adding a new, let's say I'm adding, let's copy this. Let's Control-C that and copy it here. Okay. So if care is not taken, sometimes this bit does not get automatically added onto the table, the last row. So when more data is added in, it might not, if this corner here is not dragged, it might not be picked, properly. This time it was picked. Normally tables should pick it, but would it really pick it? Whereas if this was not in a table format, it's just in the normal range. So which is, you have something like this, you have stuff like this that are not put in a table, just your normal range. If more is added and your data is refreshed, you don't have to fear whether in Power BI it gets communicated properly down. Does that make a bit of sense?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's take that.
Sorry, Auntie Deborah, please, when it's on table format and you want to take it back to range without using the undo button, what do you click again?
How do we do it?
Take it back to range, yeah, without using the undo.
If we come on a table design, I believe, so I'm clicking on the table to pick the table design. Under table design, look here, we've got convert to range. So when something is already in table, under table design, you see a few things you can do. You can convert it back to range. Okay, let's quickly do that with
Let's
this one.
quickly click
But
it.
this is not exact class, so sister.
Just a
Convert to
quick
range.
one.
It's
That's the
asking,
work of my brain. Like, come to
so it's
this.
asking me, do you want to convert the table to normal
Oh,
range?
yeah.
Yes. And now that should do it. So we see that that point at the corner is no longer there, you know. And if I scroll up, we see we've lost, the color is there, but we've lost everything that made this a table. The filters are no longer there. It's just maintaining the color.
Okay, so you cannot change the color to normal plain background.
If you want to, yes, you can.
Want to, okay.
If you want to. So
okay.
what Mr. Azim was explaining to us is that if our table was in normal range like this, if you add anything here, Excel is not going to struggle with adding it on because it will just pick it as a normal range anyway. But if I'm adding more data in and it's not picked into the table, and in Power BI, I've chosen the table option, anything that doesn't fall within the table doesn't get communicated down to Power BI. Does that make sense? Yes, we can go on, Abby.
Okay, so that means for you to take it to Power BI, it has to be in table format before you can export it to Power BI.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have, that's what I'm trying to say.
No, it doesn't have to be. You can take anything into Power BI.
You can take it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I need to close this because we have brought it into Power BI already so that it will let us carry on working with it. So here we go. So we brought this into Power Query now because we said transform data. We want to transform the data. And we are saying transform data because it may need cleaning up. We need to check our data types. We need to check everything actually, you know, and we need to do some manipulations, you know, that would help what we are trying to find. Let's not forget there's an end in our mind that we must achieve, the question that we were asked to solve, you know. Okay, so I see all employees now. I see employee ID, name, job role. I'm looking at the data types, these corners here, and I'm happy with what I see so far. That's text, that is text, that is text. Start date has been seen as a date. It's been picked as a date because I see the date symbol there. Years of service has been picked as decimal because it's decimal number that, you know, we have here. Cost center, base location. So that is all fine until we start to get to certain part, you know, base location supervisor. Okay, notice period required has got a lot of null values in it. Okay, end dates, a lot of null values. And column 11 there, also a lot of null values. And if I check through, okay. So at this point, what do you suggest we do with this table? Should we just carry on?
No, we should be able to clean the table properly.
Okay,
like where you are now, when you have the notice period now. So you can see that we have null and y.
Yeah.
So meaning that there's one yes and probably the other ones will be no. So we can just quickly fill up the null with no.
Okay.
And yeah, with n.
That's a very good a good suggestion. Any other suggestion? So if we fill this up with no's, because we believe that if it's not a yes, let's see, if there is no y there, then it's definitely a no. So we've got that many. Let's look at how many yeses we've got. Is it just one or there's plenty? Okay, it's just the one. Okay. So what this may suggest is that we've got only one person who has got an end date in mind. Is going to leave us soon, and others are not planning to leave us. But it might be worth checking checking with the business what to do with the nulls there if they want to keep it as null, or does this column even have anything to do with the final report that we are going to produce? If we look at the question again, does it have anything to do with notice period at all? End date and all of that?
Yes, I think so, because I dropped some messages on the chat just now.
Okay. So no, we need to change the null to yes and no. Okay. So that's what Mr. Taiwo Ilori said. Okay. I see there's more from you. Yes, you've got the data. It's in the Suftnet challenge. If we look through what's gone on this week in Suftnet challenge, it is there. We can follow through. That would be the best thing to do, actually. So I have the questions they asked me. Okay. Okay. Number one question was, will the team be able to achieve their 5 objectives? The employee living is skilled mostly in which areas, and do I think he needs to train others on the particular field? Then in addition to the assignment done by, I added one more slicer for skills, and that made it easier to see the individual skills and their competencies. Wow. Okay, I didn't see all these other requirements. I just focused on that last part, which is what is going to be my focus for this class, because we don't have time to really delve, too deep into everything you said there. The major thing I want to highlight with the time that we have for this afternoon is just being able to display those individual skills and the team skill as a whole. That's our focus for this particular time, So for that reason, I am suggesting that I'm going to take these 3 out just for this class, because it doesn't concern what we want to achieve, right now. And if we need to take them back, we can always come back and put them back in. Okay, so that cleans that up a little bit. Then skills and competencies. Okay, we'll see column 1, column 2. How do we normally solve this problem? Our row 1 is supposed to be our header. How do we jump our row 1 back up?
So use first row as header. Okay,
so how do we normally achieve that?
So we can come to that button beside. No, I like using yes. Just click it, then you use the second. Yeah, use the first row.
Perfect. That solves it for us. Thank you very much. Is there any more cleaning up that you think we can do around here? Anything hidden somewhere? That looks all right. This looks all right as well. And we can even see from these displays here that we can see we don't have any error, so it's always handy to leave that open. Then we come on to the skills assessment. This is what shows us what each person rates, under each skill. So I see ID here, the dates, I see that, the email, employee ID is here, which is good because there is employee ID here and there is employee ID here. So there's a kind of a relationship between those two. So that makes our lives easy. Now, this ID that is here, what's this ID for? That ID, I don't understand what it is ID. ID for what? Anyone can help?
You want to scroll down? I think it's just numberings.
Is it just numbering? Is that what you think?
It's just the number of all the employees in that organization.
I think it's just numberings.
Oh, okay. So what do you suggest? Do we need it? Do we need to number them? If it's needed, we keep it. If not, what we should be able to say
No,
the
I
ID.
think
It's not needed because we already have the names of the employees and their ID as well. So I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, someone else is saying something.
So I think it's trying to tell us the total number of the employees. So basically, we might want to calculate that at the end of during our report. So
yeah, so if that's what this ID means, then I wouldn't want us to use it, because at the end of the day, we can always get it anyway. So that is out. And we've said about this is dates, all our values here are seen the way they should be seen, and we've got 100% valid data for. Okay, so in the sense of data being plain, we can say this data is plain now. Okay, just in the sense of saying that. So let's close and apply out of curiosity and see what happens.
No, I
Sorry,
don't
I have
think we've finished. We've not finished cleaning up that data.
Okay, we'll go back. Okay, but before we go back, there's something that we need to quickly see with our relationship. After you have cleaned data, if it's already clean, and you bring it in here, the next thing you want to do is you want to come and check what's happening with your relationship, because the relationship matters a lot. It is what your DAX and a lot of things would rely on at the end of the day. So we see that there's a problem with this, is broken. These two can find each other, and they find each other on, if I put the cursor here, it should be on employee ID. Let's see. It's quite a long list. Okay, so we can see the employee ID now. So, and it's forming a one to many.
One to many.
Yeah, so that makes perfect sense. This is the kind of relationship we aspire to have, one to many. But how can we achieve something for this as well? So this is where we go back and correct that mistake, that cleaning that Mr. Ferdinand said, and then do more. Okay, what further cleaning do we need to do here?
So we need to do turn the not here, the skill assessments.
This one.
No, the last one.
The last one, right?
Yeah. So now we can see the Microsoft Access, Microsoft Excel. Those are the skills that we need to turn 90 degrees. So we need to unpivot those skills up to training, design, so that we can turn it 90 degrees.
Okay. So we've got our date like that, the email, and all of that. So Mr. Ferdinand is saying that right from where you've got your skill, from Microsoft Access to the last skill there, right to the very last one, there's need for us to unpivot, turn it, unpivot them. So how do we achieve that? And let's see, do we really even need it? So those are the ones I want to unpivot. I don't want to unpivot these ones here. From this point to this point, I don't want to unpivot them. So I'm going to click them. Then what's the next thing I'm doing? Please, I need help. What's my next action to take?
Well, we go to transform. We'll click transform, then we'll now unpivot other columns.
So under transform, there's unpivot. Unpivot columns is here. And we are going to say we want to unpivot other columns. And you see, that our long list of columns have become 2. So remember that Microsoft Access was 1 column, Microsoft Excel was another 1 column, and it went on like that. So what is done now is it's turned all the columns into rows, and the values under them is brought it right under 1 column. You know, it's like it's exchange. U columns become rows, you know, and U rows become 1 column. That's how to unpivot, you know. And if what we wanted to do was unpivot the ones we picked, we say unpivot, you know, these columns. So that works fine. That looks more presentable. Thank you very much for pointing that out. What else can we do here that can help our report? Is that all? Let's remember there was a problem with this table. It's not seeing anything. It's not, you know, linking with the other 2. Is there a way to help it?
If we want to look for something unique or something to use to link it to the other one.
Okay, so what can that something be? I'm trying to remember what I did around here as well. I remember that I made a skills table and a competency area table, if I remember right. Okay, so we've got the employees table.
Skills, I think the skills are unique.
The skills are unique.
Yes, competency, there is repetitions there, so the skills are unique.
So what that tells us is, should we duplicate this table? So let's have a duplicate of this table, you know. So we've got the skills and competency, and then we want just the competency now, you know. So I'm going to call this competency record, or just competency. And all we need is just the competency area. We don't need the skills with it. So I'm going to remove this one. And then we remove duplicates from this one so that we make it unique.
Unique, okay. Yeah.
So this way we have a list of our competency areas that we are dealing with, you know, so such that we can link this to this competency and the skills. They've got something in common, and it would be this that they have in common. Does it make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Please, can I ask why we're not using the skills bits? Because those skills are also unique in their own way. Are they not unique? Because it's got Excel. There's just one access, one Excel and all that. Why are we not using that one?
Because we already have it as unique here.
Okay, so we need that. Okay.
So and we wanted unique for competency as well.
For competency, yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, that's why we did that.
For the star schema.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. And we'll talk about the star schema in a bit. Okay, but we still haven't solved the problem. And the problem
I just wanted to know why we didn't go for that.
Right. And the problem is that we need to find how
to merge the two together.
Yes, these skills would relate with employee or skills assessment or something. Let's see. So I've got skills and competency. I've also got skills here. Okay, actually there should be a link now. Okay, there should be a link now. Let's go back and let's close this and see what everything is looking like. Then we'll know what more we can do. Okay, what's this? By an error loading loading a previous table, column employee ID contains a duplicate value. Okay. Skills assessment contains a duplicate value of this. So we've got a duplicated value there. So there's needs to check that out, see why we are having, that problem. So I close this. transform. So there's a particular thing there that's supposed to be an ID that's supposed to be unique, but it's not unique. So what that tells me is that we need to trim. So maybe there's a space somewhere there. So we need to trim. Let's trim and see. Where else do we have IDs? In fact, we're supposed to trim everywhere, to be honest. If you want to do proper data cleaning, it's always best advice to trim and clean, trim and clean, trim and clean for all everywhere. That way you ensure that your data is actually clean. Okay. Trim. Okay. So hopefully that solves a bit of a problem. I wish I took the number LO. So this is supposed to be, this table is the skills assessment. So this is our many table. It is our facts table. It is where the events have happened. And that is why we can have Carolina many times, because Carolina has done Access, Excel, forms, you know. But when it comes to the employees table, Carolina must be there just once, not more than once, you know. And that is why this table, employees table, is our lookup table or dimension table. So this is your dimension table or lookup table, while this is your facts table or many table. And that's what explains what was happening with our data model when we were saying one to many. So there's a one side of the data and there's a many side of the data. You know, this one, competency, is a one, because these attributes here are occurring just once. And there's something we must do here if we want all these data to link. After you have removed other columns, you have removed duplicates, I want to give this a number, an ID, so that I can see how I start to merge it to other tables that it is related with, you know. So this is where I come to add column, not transform, add column, because I'm about to add an extra column to this, you know, and I want to give it a form of ID from 1 to 7. And I can rename this and call it competency ID. Okay. So that solves that. Then skills. Then we can, I mean, it's okay to clean and trim as well, just to be sure that nothing is got anything that I shouldn't have. Okay. So we have our competency, we have the skills and competency. Those two are going to be related by their common column, which is competency area, and we've got competency area here. Does that make sense? Any questions so far, or it has gone the other way? Questions, or we should carry on? Something in the chat. Okay, 63 skills in total. Thank you very much for that, sir. Okay. So we've got employees, skills and competencies. What else should we do here? Please talk. Somebody was saying merge. What should we merge with what? What are we merging?
So I was thinking that we should merge the competency and the skills and competencies.
Okay, okay. So skills and competency, let's merge it with competency. Okay. What's the rationale behind it? What are we bringing in that we want to merge?
Yeah, the competency, so that they will then form a relationship when we are trying to look at our report.
These two already have a relationship. Competency, skills and competency have a relationship. That relationship is competency area. See, we've got competency area here, and we've got competency area here. So they will always merge on that. Does that make sense?
Okay, actually.
Yes, okay. But you see, one thing that we should always do with our fact table, you know, we said this is our fact table where everything is happening. You know, most of the IDs must be here, or if not all of the IDs. For example, we've got employees ID. The employee ID is also in the assessment table. So that takes care of the relationship between those two tables. What have I got here? I've got skills and competency, but I don't have how that links to this, and I need it to link. I need these two to link. How can we make that? I want us to think about this, please. We need to think, because that's the only way we can solve problems when we try to engage. There's a problem at hand now. I've got this. It's like not linking with the main table, which I want it to link. How can I solve that problem? Trying to, please help me mute that person if you can.
Can we use the employee ID to do it?
Okay. So the employee ID is on employees, it's also on skills assessment. Where should we use it?
On the skills and competency.
Okay, so we are now on the skills and competency. So we should use the employee ID to do what?
To create a relationship
between
the employee, all employees and the skills and competencies. That's my thought, but I don't know. So
okay, we can't because there's no employee ID on this one. You know, so the employee ID would work for where it appears. Okay. There's one thing we can do though. Somebody mentioned something, that skill itself is unique, isn't it? It's got all these Microsoft access. They are not appearing like many times. I don't believe they are. Very unique. And because it is unique, let's also give it, let's have a skills ID such that we come here under add column. Let's give it a number. Okay. And this is our skills ID. Okay. So now we have an ID for skills, but this ID needs to be appearing here. On the assessment table, we have it's named attribute here. What's the real name for it? Skill. So let's change this attribute here. These are our skills. So now we are finding a common ground. You know, we are finding a common ground between all the tables. So we know how we are. And this is what we call manipulating data. All those grammar, I can do data manipulation, that's what we are doing here. We are conforming the data to what we want it to become, you know. So these two now, skills and competency, has got this. Skills has got this as well, you know. So should I merge on that, or should I bring the ID? Let's bring the ID that we have just formed and bring it into, because IDs are unique, they are always the best to merge on. Okay, so
can't you just use the skills alone?
in my own view, it should work actually, Let's
Yeah,
bring this
the
in
skills alone should work.
because
So
it's
I
unique.
don't think we have
Okay.
no way.
Yeah, I think it should. And plus, we've linked it. We've
Yeah.
changed attribute to skills.
Yeah, so skills, yes.
Yes.
That
Okay.
should work.
Okay. So now it's throwing up. Why is it throwing up? It says load competency load was cancelled by an error in loading a previous table. Okay. Employee ID in table skills contains a duplicate value. It should it's skills assessment, isn't it? That table should have duplicate value anyway. Oh, I see why my internet is playing up. You know what happened? Because, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we shouldn't load that duplicate column that we created.
No, I caused the problem. Remember that I've come here to do this already. So it's not finding it funny. I need to delete certain relationships and let it form now. Okay. So it's telling me some relationship has been formed already, and it's not really finding it easy to reform another one. So I'm going to go back and close and load now. I think this happened when the first time I was looking at this data before. Okay. So we are good now, except for skills assessment. What happened here?
It's only skill and competence.
So the heading, one is skills, then the other one is skill.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
so
Okay.
I just go back and change it, add S to it.
So, but why are we not having relationship? Because we can drag this, we can
drag the employee
of this one in. Well, what's it saying? Many to many. No, it should be one to many. So let's cancel it. It's saying, let's go and look for that the one that is telling us.
Okay, there are many skills, Abby.
No, it's the employee ID.
The employee ID we're looking at.
Yeah, it's telling us that the employee ID here is forming many to many when it should be forming one to many.
One to many.
Yes. Yes. So again, we go back into our data and we make those changes. Okay. So first we start with the employee ID. Now let's remove duplicates because IDs are not supposed to be duplicated. So did I click the right thing? Come on. Okay. So I've removed duplicates there now. And then you said about skills and skill. So I've got skills ID, skill here. Okay. And I've got skills here. So let's change that to have an S. Okay. Any other problem that could come up? I think we should be good now. Okay. Now let's put this here. I may need to check the setting on this Power BI because it's supposed to pick that without me needing. Okay, so that worked. The duplicate is removed. Now we have our one-to-many on that one. Now, what's happening on this one? What did we say is unique?
Skills to skills can go.
Okay, so skills to skills. Okay, that also worked. Okay. So let's quickly look at this relationship. That ID that was formed there was not necessary, like you said.
It wasn't. Yeah.
So we'll take it out. We'll delete it. I just love forming IDs. Don't mind me. All right. So this is the list or the table that contains all the assessments that were taken, the people that took them. So they appeared many times because they took quite a few. One person took more than one. So this is why this became our focus table, our fact table, you know, like an orders table, order details table, where all the orders are made. That's exactly what this skills assessment is. And because people are appearing there many times, or transactions are appearing there many times, it becomes our many. When you see this star, that means many. And these employees' competency are our lookup table. We're just looking up stuffs, you know, and the information we are looking up must appear once. That's why they are one. So if I've got one person who is 2 here, who is appearing twice here, there's need to investigate why that is, you know, or remove it if you are very sure that that person was just entered twice, you know. Now, remember that this one, between these two, we've got one to many. But between here and here, this table now becomes a many for this one. And that's because this is a competency table. Competencies are appearing here once, but competencies are appearing here more than once. Because Microsoft Access, Excel, all of the Microsoft appeared under just one heading. So which means that one heading appeared many times. We can go back to the table to look at that again. That's why for these two relationships here, this became many. But between here and here, the skill which we acted upon was one here, but many here. And the relationship we formed here, competency area was one here, but it appeared many times here. And this relationship model is very simple. To a good extent, we can say star schema. I would have said star schema, but we've got something branching out here. We've got a bit of a snowflake. So the two models are star schema and snowflake. Star schema is like your star. You've got something in the middle, the facts table, and all of the other lookups are now surrounding it. You know, like if had it been, we have like 5 tables. So we got this one, another table here, another table here, all surrounding just this one in the middle. That is a star schema. But the moment we start branching to one side, like we have here, that part has started to snowflake out. You know, star schema is always what we aim for, to have the most efficient model to work with. But most of the time, it depends on how large your data is. It's not easy to achieve it. But star schema keeps it very simple. What more do we need to do? We've brought it all in. We've got employees, all of our tables there, you know, and we've got our relationship all sorted out. What more should we do? Let's look at the question again. Has anyone got the question already opened, or should I open it?
It's open so that we can all be on the same page.
Okay, so just let's read out just that part. You know, that part that says we need to see how the skills how the team has done and how the individuals have done, you know, and what would be your choice of charts to use as well. Let's take a minute to think about it and see what we come up with. I'll go with your suggestion. Again, so we've brought it into Power BI. What we now need to display is display the skills and competency of individual employees and the whole team. Skills and competencies of the individuals and the whole team. That's what we need to achieve with this. How do we do that? Of individuals, what skills have they got, and how skilled are they, in those in that thing, basically, in that skill. Let me see what I've done, what I did before. This was the way I presented that part, which I'm going to, I don't know, should I say implore us to. So for individuals, I've used a matrix. So we can see that it's highlighted there. So if I go back here and choose a matrix and see how that works. And then what did I do? I've put skills under there. So skills go on row. Okay,
Hello.
because hello.
Sorry, Madam Deborah. I think the next thing we need to do is to have the team splitted, in terms of those having no knowledge, basic knowledge, some good knowledge, some expert knowledge. We need to split them into two different tables. Like those from good knowledge to expert knowledge should be on one table, and then those from no knowledge to some good knowledge should be on another table, because that will help us to inform those that needs training. So because because if we don't split them that way, we might not be able to really ascertain those that need training, because you and I can agree that those that have no knowledge, basic knowledge, and some good knowledge needs training. That's from 0 to 2. Then from those that have from 3 to 5, at least they have quite number of experience and knowledge. They can actually transfer, train the other that does not have knowledge. So we can have two tables. One will be for 0 to 2, then the other will be from 3 to 5. They will now create a new measure, and the new measure will be having a skill grade.
Okay.
So that skill grade will be from no knowledge to expert knowledge, so that when we want to, for instance, like what you helped me, the other day, I added one more slicer, and the slicer I added was a skill slicer. So that's what it helped me to achieve was I was able to, actually identify individuals that need help, that needs training. Like for instance, because I was asked that they asked me how will I identify an individual that needs training. So what I did was, because I had skill grade in the slicer, I had skills in slicer, and then I had competency in slicer. So if I pick a particular competence, probably like business improvement. Now the business improvement, and then I probably pick a skill grade of no knowledge.
Sorry. As you are saying it, I want to be doing what you are saying so that
Auntie Debbie, maybe first of all, let's go back to the table again. There's an heading for value.
Okay.
That value should be, there are some that, got 0, 1, 2, 3. So, their scale is a scale of the highest is 5. So it's on that premise that we can then see, who got 0, who got 1, who got 2, so that we can then
okay, so I'm closing this because you see because I opened the data source that is showing some sort of abnormality there. Okay, so you said we come back here, which we have, and then we identify. So we go to our here, is it?
Yes. So
that's so what should we do here?
You can see this value. So you can see that some people, had 0. So those ones means they don't have knowledge at all. So that's where we can then categorize them into
conditional formatting.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's do, okay, conditional formatting. So 0 is no knowledge.
No knowledge. Yes.
Okay, so how do we group the other ones? So we say 1 to 2 is what? Let's start straight away. So we add column, and under add column, we say conditional column, which is this one here. So our conditional column comes up. Okay, so, and we are calling this what? Skills what?
Skills grade also, yeah.
Skills grade, okay. So, and we are saying if value. Okay, so if value equals to 0.
0, yeah.
Then no knowledge.
Yeah, no knowledge.
Okay, then we add more.
Add another one, yeah.
So if value, okay,
equals
so what should
1.
we do here? Equals 1.
Equals 1, yeah.
1. Then what?
Maybe some knowledge.
It's basic knowledge.
Basic knowledge, yeah. Basic knowledge, yeah.
Okay. Then let's keep adding. So value to 2.
Yeah. Some good knowledge. Some good knowledge.
Some good knowledge.
Some good knowledge, yes.
Some good knowledge. Okay. Okay. Then 3.
Good
knowledge.
Good knowledge.
Good knowledge.
So we still need 4.
Yeah, 4.
So it equals to 4. Then
some expert knowledge.
Some what?
Some expert
knowledge.
Some expert knowledge. So the rest will be expert, Abi?
Expert, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. I love this. Okay. So here we have brought our skills grade in. Wow. And now it's categorized them. I love that reasoning. You know, I love that thinking because I didn't even think along that line before. So that's kudos. Well done. Well done to you guys. Okay, so what else should we do that will help us? Should I close and apply?
Yes, let's go and apply and see what's happening. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we've closed, we've applied, and that was done under skills and competency or skills assessment, skills grade. So if I bring that in here, so we have that slicer somewhere already. Okay, so what should we do now? You can keep this here somewhere. We are going to need the slicer for which slicer did you say before, Mr. Taiwo?
Okay, then we'll be needing slicer for skills and then for competency.
Yes, that's right. So skills, should we pick that from? Where should we pick that from? We can pick it from anywhere, actually. Skills, okay, let's pick it from here. And then we have competency. Another slicer for competency. Where are thou? Competency area. Okay. Okay.
What we can do is to place them probably in a card and then make them a drop down so that.
Okay. Yeah. Let's use drop down just for the sake of space. Then what else do we need?
Okay, then we'll then need to have the tables. I mean, we'll have the two different tables. Just like I said, we'll split them into from no knowledge to some good knowledge. So from knowledge to some good knowledge will be on the table. Then from good knowledge to expert knowledge will be on another table. So those that are from no knowledge to some good knowledge actually needs training. That's from 0 to 2. They need training. Then those that's from 3 to 5, they can actually conduct the training. I mean, they are good to go to either conduct training or
You are rushing me, oh, you are rushing me, oh. So we need table.
Sorry. I'm only speaking fast because my kids here could disturb. That's why.
Don't worry. It's all part of the journey. Okay, so I got a table there. I should be putting employees there, is it?
Yes, employees. So employees that from no knowledge to some good knowledge will be on the particular table. Let me see if I can. Oh, my PC is inside.
So if I pick, because I've got this now, the way what you are saying now, if I want to see, okay, in this competency area, for this skill,
For this, yeah,
I want to see those who have no knowledge at all,
no
basic knowledge. Okay, why are they not interacting? That should interact.
The table, I don't think this table is complete. They should have just a minute, please.
You see where the relationship really matters. There was no interaction because I picked, from different areas that might not necessarily be directly linked. Because see, competency is linked to here, but is it really picking down to skills assessment, So it's going to involve all of that going up and down just to fine-tune things, to be honest. Under skills and competencies, skills and assessment, we have names here. Okay. Let's pick a table. Let's pick the name from here. Okay, now that's picked the slicer setting that I already have. So this tells me, because of our time, this tells me that these people under competency, let's make it a bit bolder. Values, let's see what we are dealing with. Arial, and we can make that 12 and make it bold. Okay, so Elizabeth Wren in competency area of business, I'll make it bold so that is a bit seen as well. Maybe 12. Okay, so in this area, has this skill, basic business improvement diagnostics has basic knowledge in it. These people here are the ones that have basic knowledge. And, it'd be nice to see it all, in a table and see how it's all, sort of interacting. Let me remove the filters. And remove this basic knowledge as well. Okay. Now, what do you suggest? Do you suggest we build this now, or we make it an assignment for us to go watch the video and build our own, report dashboard, how it came out? Because we are all going to think about it in different ways and come up with different solutions, But I think the major part of the job has been done. It's just then how you present it in a beautiful way.
I sent a screenshot of what
you can please send it to the that would help.
And then to the chat. It's on the chat just now.
Thank you very much. That would perfectly help us to know what we are what we are dealing with and how to build our own as well. There we go. So this is what we've got. Will you let me move? No? Okay. So I believe we have it in different places. No, okay, that's fine. We've got on the WhatsApp, we've got it here. So if you can capture and just make something similar or something of your own as well. Let's bring that to, and let's bring that to the class next week, because as you try to make sense of it, you will even put more enrichment into it, and how we put them into grades. I didn't think along that line before. That was part of data enrichment. That was good, and as you interact more, there'll be more things that drop to you that's okay, let me add this as well. Let me add that as well. Why am I using this chart? Why don't I use that other chart? Does this help me present what I'm, trying to help them to see? So that would be where I think we should leave it. Any questions, any comments? Our time is quite gone, but have we got any contributions, please? Thank you very much, Mr. Taiwo, for helping through. Mr. Ferdinand, thank you. Mr. Azim and everyone, Sister Uju, Sister Eunice. Trying to stop recording.